go to minutes. I think she might be, she was thinking about attending the session. So we'll see.
I saw Gary was going to attend, represent.
He's attending a
This was much
YouTube
cooler
session.
today. It's nice right here.
It would have fun.
And you want to sit right next to the fan. Sit right internet back here.
Yeah, to see.
Yes, that might not be the best place to sit. Some people, if you get your internet early, you might, So
So Heidi, you should have that invite.
Yep, I'm on.
somebody's
On, I think.
Oh, yeah, bring that up.
Sometimes you can see.
And I have a video that I'm going to show.
So I'll meet you here.
And it's just at the beginning.
Okay.
Just one.
Okay.
It's a lot, but you could have different things happening on different screens. We have one of these in one building, but
It's
I
very
don't believe it's hooked up correctly. I didn't install it, I did buy it. There, I did a compensation. I didn't know.
I didn't have to.
Yeah, I use them like smart touch screens too. I don't know about their equipment.
So Heidi, as you want to get connected up to this system.
But I didn't install them and I didn't find it. It's like, that's crazy. And I'm not seeing it. Go back to the site. Put a new pencil sharpener in. I might not be good. I'm all good. Okay, new classroom.
This is the sponsoring room.
Is it fancy good hot? I bet.
Do you want to project?
That's my other screen.
Okay, so yeah, you just do here.
That's funny.
Is that gonna be okay? Holler if you have any issues.
Thanks.
As soon as you share your screen,
Sorry.
That's okay. Thanks for asking.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday, and this session is going to be on providing feedback for formative type of assessments. And we are recording through Hangout on Air as a streaming session, so this is going out to whoever could be watching, so welcome. And
We got 20,000 viewers so far.
yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Owen. We joined that in red. I have the schedule up here in case you wanted to go to the presentation site. Under each of the session links, there is a presentation link, and that'll take you to our agenda page, and specifically to providing feedback page. And I have a short URL there, a QR code, and just a reminder about hashtags if you are tweeting. And then there's the password for the guest wireless access. And I'm Heidi Olson, I don't think I said that, and I am one of the instructional designers at UAF eLearning. And I'm really excited to be able to work with K-12 teachers and then the university faculty. I think that of anyone, the K-12 uses formative type feedback a lot more than in higher ed. So I'm assuming that you guys are doing a lot of cool things that I'm probably not even aware of. So I'm looking for you for your ideas and how you're using feedback and giving your kids some instruction in that learning part. And hopefully we can talk about what you're doing and then find a Google solution that might help you give that feedback, help give you the feedback and help make it easier so that you aren't spending all night grading papers. So I have this little video from a teacher that I thought would be
Interesting. So I am going to.
I'll mute. It's okay, I'll mute. Should be muted. I am muted. Let me, oh, you know what? Here we go. That's right.
Yay.
Hi, I am Andrew Bronski. I teach at Huron Heights Secondary School in Kitchener. The focus for mine has been the idea of communication between teacher and student and formative feedback for writing. As an English teacher in high school, we always focus on how to improve student writing, and we find it's a really big time constraint in our classrooms to do what we need to do and kind of have that one-to-one communication. So one thing I was looking at was using Google Docs with my students to write their essays in grade 10. Overall, I found this a kind of a fantastic experience. Using the commenting feature through Google Docs, I was able to highlight their text, anything that was done well, anything that was a focus for improvement, and leave detailed comments with the side. The thing I really loved about it was it allowed my students to kind of comment back to me, and we could have this dialogue going back and forth outside of real time and outside of our classroom. And I got to see the kind of evolution of their writing through using Google Docs for that. I think, with our traditional model in the classroom of having me sitting in the front of the classroom, going through our lesson plans, how to write the essay, what the expectations are, and then sitting down, saying my students essentially go, right? And let's see what you do and having that handed in. I would be often moving through the classroom, working with students through that, but again, in an hour period with 30 students in my class, it's tough to get to people. Even over the course of the week of the writing, it's really tough to get to them. So I think one of the biggest changes for anyone to notice was that it allowed me outside of time, so prep or sitting down in a coffee shop at Starbucks, I could pop into their essay through their Google Doc they'd shared with me and see how they're doing with it. And if I noticed something was not quite right or if they're off base in somewhere, I could fire them a quick comment that way. And it really kind of opened doors for that kind of communication between teacher and student outside the class. You know what, my students actually really love that. And having them come back and saying like, you know, thank you so much for popping online and looking at my stuff and giving me the feedback. And I get it now. I wasn't really sure before. And even like when you went through in the lesson, I wasn't quite confident with it, but having you read over it and comment and say this is right, or I know that you've checked it off, gave them a lot more confidence. So I think the biggest positive I took at it was the positive feedback from my students on it. One thing is that like we've focused here really on formative feedback, and so like we do like lunchtime meetings with students. We'll do after school before, still kind of have these one-on-one meetings. So one of the challenges was switching over to Google Docs. I'm giving up my own time to do that. Then, like I said, I'm at the coffee. I'm going out to a coffee shop and pulling their stuff up, or I might have a free hour at home where I'm popping the computer and going through their stuff. So it is a shift, switching over the technology with Google Docs and doing that on my own time outside of the school hours necessarily. But overall, I would say it was still a time saver for me.
So
that man in the video. I want to add that video to my YouTube so I can access it again.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You're awesome.
Bieronski.
I couldn't even tell you his first name.
Did you get that invite yet? Tomorrow we're going to do a session on Hangouts and Hangouts on Air, and you've witnessed this is like a teaser advertisement for those sessions. What to do when you drop someone from a Hangout on Air midstream. I can send you the link through email direct.
There's a sign-up sheet going around, so if anybody needs to sign in for the session.
One of the things about Hangouts and Hangouts on Air is they have a feature to invite participants directly from within the Hangout, but it's mysteriously late frequently. They'll send it, sometimes it's instant, but it's also sometimes delayed by a couple hours. So I just manually grab the link and email it directly to Heidi. Should be back in a second. We'll be good to go. You're back. And now we're muted. Super. We're good.
Okay. Thank you for your patience there. Yeah, so the video is there on the agenda page. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm your teacher today, Mrs. Olson, and I would like you to work on an assignment. So first of all, on this page, I have a link to Mrs. Olson's folder. So if you could click on that folder. And this is how it looks for me. For you, over on the right side, it will probably say Save in Drive, Add to Drive. So if you go ahead and click that button, that's going to add my folder to your version of Drive. And then once you do that, you're going to say, click on the Open in Drive.
Did you get that from the presentation page or where?
Yes. On the Providing Feedback page, quarter of the way down, there's the Mrs. Olson's folder.
If you go to the agenda, the schedule here.
If you're not there, let us know. We'll be happy to help you get where you need to be at.
So does everyone see it in Drive? There should be two documents, favorite things template and student name favorite things. Okay.
This might seem silly, but if you're sending something, how would you do it as a teacher? You would just send it to their email and then they would click on it?
Probably send it to their email. If you use a classroom, you could embed it in a classroom or a site. Yeah, short URL.
Yeah.
There's a new Google tool called Google Tone, where you can actually broadcast a URL by sound. So if we all have that installed, I could just give you a tone and you're in here. You ought to be able to pick it up. I haven't tried it. I think that's where she is.
I would want to play with that. That's very cool.
Yeah, I might have to try that. So I would like you all to open Favorite Things template. And this is where I'm going to have you do a little writing assignment. And you can view only because I want you to make your own copy. So if you go to File, make a copy. And I'd like you to follow my naming convention, which is going to be your first name, a space, the first letter of your last name, a space, and then favorite things.
Say again, please.
First name, first initial of the last name, and then favorite things. And then if you could also click share it with the same people. Do you show that? Okay, so does everyone have their copy?
What if we were bad and we clicked?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't have the option to
To
share.
share,
with the same
okay,
people.
I wasn't sure if you would have that. So
I have to share with others, but
Yeah.
then I need.
So it's my folder, so that's fine. Yeah, if you don't see that. So if you could just take, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes here to complete this assignment for me.
Raise your hand or let us know if anybody has any questions. We got several people in the room to help.
No, what you're doing is you're sharing it only with the folks in your star Borough, so I won't be able to see it.
So is there a way to answer that?
Yeah, I just say, did you change anything? Yeah, you could just, I'm done.
but others can't pull it up.
Right. Oh, I forgot one step. An important step. If you go up to the name of your document, there's a folder. I want to make sure that you've saved it back in Mrs. Olson's folder. So if you click on that folder, you're going to get a move to.
That when we're done.
You can do it when you're done
Or at any point.
or at any point. Since this is a formative assessment, I would like you to do it now because I am going to pop into your assignment while you're working.
And you can see the changes as they happen.
Yes.
So do you want the classroom or the share folder?
So I would like, it should go into Mrs. Olson's folder.
I don't have it as a choice.
It's not an option. We've got classroom or share folder.
Mine has my drive or classroom.
Oh, yeah.
It has to create a new folder.
But Heidi, it worked for me when I just tried it. Your folder showed up in mine. So I don't know. But I went through the same steps.
Okay, okay, so, I'm not sure why that didn't work. So let's do a little sharing exercise. In your documents, if you could click on the blue share button. And in the people, if you could share it with me.
They'll probably need your email address if they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? Which email address?
Which is hcolson@alaska.edu.
Say again, please.
It's hcolson@alaska.edu.
Do you want to be able to edit it or?
Yeah, yes, if you could let me edit it. It might be a domain.
I think mine might already be in there because it says I'm here to do it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, so now I'm seeing things. hcolson@alaska.edu. So if I could just have your attention again. In my drive, I'm seeing your documents, and I am going in as you're working and making some comments. So as students are working on things, I can, you as a teacher can go in and say, whatever kind of feedback you want to give them. If you see that maybe they've skipped question 1 and gone on to 2 and 3, you might need some assistance with question 1, so you can do it online without interrupting the class or.
So could you model how you do that?
Yeah.
What, did you click on their paper and then go in?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So I just open the page and I can see that Barbara is working here. Here's her cursor. So I'm going to highlight the word animal. And one of the ways you can make comments in Google Docs and many of the other Google applications is by inserting a comment. So I highlighted a word or a passage. You go up to insert to comment, and it pulls up a little comment text box on the side, and I can add my comment. And it doesn't commit itself until you click on the comment button. So that's one way of adding comments. Another way, obviously, would be to do an inline edit. So, you might, I'm going to use purple as my, you can make an inline comment to something specific. Maybe the difference between making inline comments and making a comment on the side is sometimes students see the inline comment as more of an edit suggestion or an edit choice, whereas a comment would be more of a suggestion. So, and your student could choose to accept it or not.
Heidi,
Yeah.
there's an official way to do that too, with that little pencil editing feature.
Right. Yeah. So
They just need to click the button.
Yeah. So yes, that's right.
Or am I complicating it?
Yeah.
More than you want to?
No, that was next.
Oh, okay,
Actually,
sorry.
so you can make an inline edit, like I just did with that purple. You can make a comment on the side, which is form a conversation. And then you can also suggest editing. Your edits become suggestion, which is more like track changes in Word. So if I do that, let's say, size. So that becomes more of a track changes kind of edit. And the student could either choose to accept it or not.
So that one will actually put it in the document, because one of the things that I've struggled with adding comments was getting them to understand exactly where in the document, because I was trying to keep it off their paper and just add comments, but sometimes they have the location, like where it takes me longer to write out the comment than just actually diving in and everything.
Yeah, if you do the suggested edits, then it appears wherever your cursor is.
Okay.
Yes.
Conversely, could a student, if a student had a question while they were working on something, send a comment to you, and then when you pull that up, you would see the comment?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, that's what happens if a student gets stuck. They can make a comment. And comments within a document, as long as they're shared, everyone who's on that share list gets an email. So maybe I'm at home and I don't go into everybody's document, but if I'm checking email, I can see that a student had a comment. and then go in. So you're kind of getting two kind of notifications.
Okay, but you're saying everybody gets it. Do the other students in the class get that too?
Anyone who the document is shared with. So if this document is just between you and me, then we're the only ones that are seeing those comments as well as getting the email.
So we have a teacher in our high school that groups kids in fours, and they are the sharers of that, of their work, and then they do that all around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
And
great
then
deal.
subs too. I mean, the teacher as well, but that's just those.
Yeah, this is a great tool for collaborative.
With the one of the types of comments, it emails the participant as well that you've made a comment. Is that right?
Yes,
That's-
that's with the comment feature on the side.
That's pretty amazing. I
Yeah. So if you're using the comment feature to give comments back to students, I highly suggest learning the keyboard commands. It takes two commands to make a comment, one to bring up the comment box, and then the next to actually commit it. And after a while, if you're using your mouse going up to insert comment, you're going to waste some time. So learning the keyboard commands is going to really be very helpful and useful. And I have them written on the agenda page. To add a comment, if you're on a PC or on a Chromebook, it's Control-Alt-M. And on the Mac, it's Option Command-M. And then to submit it, commit it, submit it, turn it in. For all platforms, it's Control-Enter. So first you would select your word or passage and then do a keyboard command to get that comment box. There's also an add-on called Kaizenga, and it's something that you would have to install on your version of Google Docs, and your student would also have to install it. But it's a way to add audio comments, which can be really helpful for some students. So I'm going to go to this one. And actually, Brooke, I'm going to pull yours up. Thank you for making a typo. So I'm going to, first of all, to get Kaizenga, how many folks have used add-ons with Google Apps at all? So add-ons are third-party little widget things that give functionality to your product, to your application. And some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for, or there's a free version, but you pay for more services. And they range in, from really good to not so good. Some of them are written specifically for a certain audience. You can have add-ons in documents, sheets, and forms. I think that's all. To find add-ons, it's going to be in your menu bar for your application, and you just go to get add-ons. And you can see that there's a ton of them. There are some for education specifically. So it's a cool thing to check out when you have time. And we're going to look for Kaizenga.
I don't think there's a G in it. I think it's just Kaizenga.
And here is the add-on here, and I've already added it, so that's why it's telling you to manage. But let me show you how it works. So I have the document, and there's some spelling errors I want to address. I'm going to go to my add-on to Kaizen, and I'm going to open it. And it's going to take a minute here to pop up because of the audio functionality. It takes a little bit for it to come up. I'm going to be giving feedback. I've already installed this, and it asked me if I was a teacher or student, and I chose teacher. but I'm going to be giving feedback. And it's going to say, okay, well, who do you want to give this feedback to? And now it's loading my contacts. The fewer people that are shared on a document, the less time it takes. So it's not finding her. I'm going to go ahead and type in her email address. And then I'm going to go continue. So I'm going to highlight here, and I'm going to add feedback. So I have a couple ways of adding feedback. I could add a text comment. I could actually link out to something. So if there was a special site or something I wanted them to go look at again, I could do that. But I want to not do that. I wanted to add a audio comment. So I'm going to click on the microphone, and I'm just going to start recording. And my mic is off, so it's not going to pick up anything, but it would prompt me to attach my mic, and then it would. How about you guys say something? Because it'll pick up that. Actually, it'll pick it up.
I can try. I can mute this, and you can try it on your end if you want.
Okay. Thanks, so.
Yeah, pardon us on the broadcast. Feel free to try this on the other end. We're going to mute you for a moment.
Okay, so I'm actually going to stop and I'm going to start it again. Okay, so I'm going to just make a short little comment. This is my second comment based on this, this highlight I did. Okay, let's see.
Now, if this, if you had that group of 4 students, would the commenter have to have all 4 of the individuals to provide the feedback to?
Yeah, so I think I'm really surprised she didn't show up in that list. So I'm not sure, because when I've tested it before, of course, everyone shows up who's in the document, so then you just add them. So you can add multiple people to the same feedback comment.
So if you wanted peers to evaluate each other's writing, can they do that in this, or do you have to set it up a little bit differently?
They could use the Kaizenga as long as everyone had it installed from that on. Yes. Yeah, everything we're showing students would have access to as well.
It came through.
Okay.
Shall we play it?
Yeah.
It just shows up with the text that she highlighted.
short little comments. It's my second comment based on this highlight. Just opens up on the side. I can type feedback. So that's a handy little add-on that is pretty useful.
Is there any problems with students with distance connections using that?
It's gonna, the first time you load it, it's gonna take a little bit of bandwidth because it's, a little bit beefier than just making a text comment. But I know that Desiree's son she teaches developmental English at university. She uses it a lot with her students, and it has been really received very well. So those are a couple ways of doing feedback within Google Docs: your inline comments, your suggestions, your side comments, and then using an add-on with Kaizenga. So I wanted to give you guys a chance to make comments, maybe on someone else's document, because I think it's helpful to see how that works. So if you wouldn't mind pairing it out in groups of 3, and then sharing those documents that you've created, and then trying out the different comment features. That would, I think it would be helpful to see how that works. And I got an email too. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Do you download language again?
Okay. Back into your folder to look at other people. I don't know why it's on the screen, but I got we also specifically shared.
Yeah, so do make sure that you have shared it with someone and that they can make comments. So when you share it, they need to be able to do more than just view it. You need to be able to make comments. And you might need to refresh as those changes are happening.
But
Can you see the second one?
Mine's up there.
I did comment, this one I think that's
I shared it. This is shared. It's just a bit ideals.
edit versus comment difference. Comment means you can do stuff more than just fix stuff. Because it says edit, comment, or review, things that we can do to each other.
Yes.
So comment is more important.
Comment would be able to add the comments to the side and not change the document.
Okay. So that would be the best.
So that would
probably be the best. Thanks.
So always in Barbie. Have 3 to 5.
Space bar. So you think I'm telling you you need to add a space there?
I think so. That's the suggestion. And she was saying shortcut commands. I've been trying that.
So I had to just move it and I don't, not exactly sure. But you could share it with me. I can share it. Yeah, so I might have been in the way that we shared it, but.
So if you want to comment without it being a specific place in the paper, can you do that or?
No, it has to be, it has to be tied, yeah. It has to be tied to something on the page.
Okay.
So, usually if it's maybe like a political comment, just highlight.
Oh, that wasn't highlighted. Oh, I guess the trees that came under. It, right, it's highlighted, right, it's what's
So there's another way I forgot to show you, but it's a synchronous way to talk. So if we were in a workshop situation, everyone's working away, I could actually we could have a conversation by chatting. So if I could say, hey Amanda, you're not working on your project. What's up? She's going to get that on her end, and I just click the little chat icon, and
which icon?
It's the little chat icon. So someone else has to be in your document. If you're the only one in the document, that icon won't show up.
Oh, so I would have to be in mine.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she also has to be in the document that I'm in.
Are you in? Yeah, I see you
So
here.
if you make a comment, do you have to resolve it to move to something else? Okay.
No, it'll just sit there.
Okay,
So if it's done and you want to resolve it, you can click on resolve. I think at some point inside, maybe you can actually resolve that and do it.
So I kind of just have this running thing that we have, which is this running.
Yeah, but those are all the comments, so, those are actually your notifications. So this is what you're going to see in an email.
Okay.
But if you click on
That's okay.
then that, so this is one comment.
Thank you all your comments.
I can't get rid of their all. I was playing with this button. So I didn't know what I was. I couldn't seem to get out of this one to move on to 6.
Oh, yes, so the little pre-vacant, yeah, that's where you edit. Okay, so
but it's only on the main
Oh,
comments.
okay, so that's just junk. Those are.
So now, so how do you do this?
How do you roll it?
What I did is I just clicked the
So then now
edit,
you
and
just kind of
that's the suggested edit.
Okay, and then you were still able to get your comment over
And then
here.
I say comment.
No, I didn't type that.
Yeah, you want to go
That
into
showed
your,
up automatically.
these are like
I
for some.
species.
Oh.
So if you want to make a
I
new
agreed,
comment, then you
and
highlight
type
what you
the
want.
word species, and it automatically crossed it out.
So I put it first.
You can see what it looks like here, that's what it looks like.
All right.
Yeah, and now,
Okay, so did you have to come up and do an insert?
Let me,
So this, I don't really need that.
yeah, those are like your summary kind of things. And if you wanted to chat with
and
someone,
and that.
whoever you're sharing with, and that little chat, you could actually have a synchronous chat.
So if I click on this,
Replace that with that, and then later on
and
this.
then that happens.
Yeah, so now you can
That's no.
talk to
But if you go down here to this one as well.
and she could respond to your question. So, here, and the only thing I can okay. Now, right, what's the first one?
I just started typing.
Start typing.
Yep.
So that, to just put a comment inside and having it in text.
So you need to highlight something.
So when you're in the actual part of the cave,
Oh, so this is supposed to be spaghetti.
No.
And then you're gonna go to insert. Insert the text.
So like if I wanted to.
yeah.
And don't touch the two.
No.
And then just start typing go.
So, like,
And then hit command enter,
yeah, that's one.
and then that will put that in there. I should be able to see that.
Right, you can't make permanent edits.
Here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not sure that you will
I see that.
create a comment based on.
Hopefully it's written in there and helps.
So, okay.
What I can do,
And yours is in a cooler color, mine's in green.
I don't know. And then you hit, where you see that cross out, if you hit the check, then you're like, yes, I accept that revision, and then takes away
Okay.
what you put.
Oh, okay. Okay, so back in line,
Yes.
if I, like here, if I were to do, yeah, I want species. Okay.
Couple things I wanted
And then I
to,
don't want it.
Getting low on time here.
Yep.
I also wanted to show some things about forms, and
one of them is, well, they're both listed on the agenda page, so you can look at them at a later time. But one of them I wanted to talk about just because it might help you while you're in class. If you create a form and have a student fill out the form, like here's a math quiz. It's like maybe like a pop quiz, or after you have read, after you've done an exercise, it's like, we'll see how much information the students have retained. I could create a quick Google form, have students take it. The responses could be, they appear in the spreadsheet, and I've applied adding to the spreadsheet. So I could see the green is good and the red is bad, so I can see just at a glance how well the students are doing. And I can also look at the data analysis. So as we finish the lesson, or maybe partway through the lesson, I could say, hey, let's see how you're doing, take a pop quiz, get a feel for how students are doing, and I can look quickly to see that, 66% on question 1 got it, and the rest didn't. So maybe I need to go over that again. Or here's one that's 50-50. It's like, well, obviously it's not connecting. We need to take some more time. So this is not necessarily formative feedback for students, but it is feedback for you to see how you're doing, you're doing, and what you might need to redo or think about explaining in a different way. So that's one way of getting some feedback personally through a Google form. And there's also a way to set up forms where you're giving immediate feedback. So in this example, I have some questions here, and it's about Alaska and the highest peaks. And the student can say, sorry, that's not correct. You need to go do some more research. So I might have to go back and do some more research. And then I'm getting a chance to answer the question again. And after reading, the paper again, I can say, okay, I knew there's 17. So then I go on to the second. So this is a way of sort of doing a quick answer, and if you get it wrong, you can use some branching options in forms to either advance the student to the next question or to give them some immediate feedback on what they might want to consider redoing or restudying. And that's a kind of an advanced way of using forms, but I wanted to throw that out. And I have an image of what that would look like if you were going to draw it out on paper. So I didn't quite get to that point. Like I said, it's kind of an advanced way of using forms. And there are a ton of form templates out there that someone else has created that you can adopt, or they might work perfectly for you. They're can be freely available. So you might do a Google search for interactive form and come up with something that you don't have to create. I have included some resources and some examples at the bottom of the page with some of that information about forms, branching forms, and other ways of using Google Docs and Google applications for feedback. If you have a great idea and want to share it, you can either do it just individually or through Twitter. Hopefully I've given you some ideas about how you can use this in the classroom. There's also a session guide at the end of the page. If you take a few minutes and fill that out, that'd be great, either now or later. And I only left you about 4 or 5 minutes to get to your next session. Sorry about that. But thank you for coming, and I hope that was helpful.
Thank you.
And there's a form going around, so make sure you fill out the form before you leave.
Thanks for attending online too, to our online viewers.
Yes, thanks.